Okay, other free agent quarterbacks that are out there. Carson Wentz, we talked about him recently, I believe. Teddy Bridgewater still unsigned. Joe Flacco, I think, could still end up back with the Jets, possibly. Nick Foles is out there. He was cut by the Colts recently. Chase Daniel, who has done a great job getting paid good money over the years.
That's
Don't
amazing.
hate, appreciate
The most
what
money
he's been
per
able to
pass
do.
attempt in the history of football.
Josh Johnson is out there. He'll eventually be signed by someone and play at
All
some
30,
point.
his 32nd
Yes.
team in the NFL.
Eventually, it's going to be easier to just list the teams he hasn't played for, and I
Yeah.
think we're close to that point. Bryce Perkins is available as well. He's going to be very grateful for getting on the graphic.
It's gonna be interesting. Just like, hey, Teddy Bridgewater's been around a long time, but as we talked about last year, do you want him to be your backup? Because he's a guy that's very injury prone, right? So he's not your best backup that way, and he's getting up there. Carson Wentz, what do you think's gonna happen there? Like Carson Wentz is, he's not your ideal backup. He is the guy that confuses the team and the media and everything because he looks so damn good at practice and he's big and he's throwing lasers everywhere, right? But there's obviously something there with the person, the human, the spotlight on him, everything, where it's just like, I wonder what's going to happen here with Carson Wentz. I don't think anybody's signing him right now. I know that.
I think it's a lot like Cam Newton. He has yet to accept the fact that he's a backup.
Yeah.
And until he accepts the fact that he's a backup, no one is going to want him because he disrupts the chemistry that you need, unless someone wants him to come in and compete with a starter, unless they want what he's going to bring to the table. But then if he loses the competition, then you have to deal with him. There's been too much of this personality stuff about Carson Wentz over the years for it to not have something.
Some reality.
Especially when it first hit when he was with Philly,
Right.
he admitted it. He didn't call it fake news. I guess I got to give him some credit for that. He could have tried to shout it down. He seemed to have some degree of self-awareness that this stuff that people had an issue with as it relates to how he interacted with players had some merit.
Yeah.
But he's just incapable of changing
it seems,
and,
right.
And remember, I said this last year because I thought last year in Washington was his absolute last chance.
Yeah.
Because when he left Philly, he landed with a buddy. He landed with a friend.
Right.
He landed with a family member.
Right.
And he could say, it's their fault, not my fault.
Yeah.
When he got kicked out of Indy, that was the moment to say, it's not their fault, it's my fault. And I think that's why Ron Rivera was kind of hard on him, try to coach him up a little bit. This is it. This is your last chance. And it didn't work.
No.
So I think that the ship has sailed. Didn't we talk about that yesterday, that the report was he's open to roles as a starter and a backup?
Right, and we were like, what? No,
that's enough to tell me he's not ready to be a backup. The fact that he would even enter the report that he's open to roles as a starter and a backup. No, you are a backup now. If you were going to be a starter or in competition to be a starter, you would be on a roster that currently holds up to 90 players. You are not in that conversation. If you want to get back in the NFL, you say, whoever's interested, I'll come throw for you. I'll play wherever.
Take me. I want to learn. I want to get better. That's what you got to do as a backup. You got to be that guy. I'll do whatever you say, coach.
You went through that for a few years.
Definitely.
You wanted to stay in the game.
Right.
You were willing to do whatever needed to be done.
Whatever. And then when you get that role, you got to be totally like, okay, I'm the backup, right? That's what I am. And I'm going to support my guy who's the starting quarterback. And I'm going to work hard and be a little bit of a pain in his ass because I got some talent. I'm going to work hard. And that's going to be good for him. But he's going to know I'm in his corner. And I'm going to, make sure I'm a team guy that way. And that is part of being the backup that way. It is.
And when you're taking batting practice before a Major League Baseball game, don't hit more home runs.
I can't even believe that. I'm shocked. I mean, we saw Josh Allen hit the softballs last week. Like Josh Allen, I think I would have put him against anybody in football as far as a home run derby. Matt Barkley he's a pretty big dude. I'm not shocked to hear he has power. I just didn't know he can hit a baseball like that.
Well, and as we said last week, it's harder with that slow pitch softball because the physics.
Yeah.
You got to generate more bat speed and more pop because there he is, Josh Allen last night in Toronto. When that ball's coming, 80 mile an hour? I don't know. What do they throw batting practice?
Yeah, probably about 80.
You hit it just right. The momentum from the pitch is going to carry the ball over the fence. Yeah. So, if you're going to be a good backup, don't hit more dingers than the starter when you're taking BP at a Major League game.
I can't believe he did that and went over there. Went over and went to Toronto.
Why?
He's in New York. Got to come down to the Yankees, the Mets. What the
He's
hell?
on the only New York football team.
I know.
The only New York team.
Yes, I know. You're right. Technically, you're right. It is the only team in the.
Speaking of that, it was funny last night going to 30 Rock for our meetings.
Yeah.
I rolled through Times Square, and the first thing I thought of was that damn Chargers video
with
Aaron Rodgers, and it said "I love
Zach
New
Milton
Jersey."
and everything.
It says "I love New Jersey" at the top, and all that great stuff in there. As soon as I saw the whole thing at Times Square, it's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
Right. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.